Thank you for being our guest on this episode of For the Lovers Podcast with Ty Hampton and, of course, your favorite lover, Ty the Bartender. Season 5, I'm alive. It's 2021 and we've won. That's the theme that I've been going with this entire year. I mean, even right now, I'm recording live in Thailand. You're in your own Thailand.
Thailand.
And I have a dog barking in the background in East Midtown. But you know what? It's all good because that's life goes on. There's always going to be a dog barking in the background, right?
That's just how life goes. Sometimes, you just have to deal with whatever Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, life is just crazy right now. Like, I'm not going to lie to you about that.
Life is actually very crazy. And even when it comes to dating, I feel like life is even crazier. Like, in New York City, in the South, like dating in New York City, I feel like I don't know what that really what is that?
But what you mean by that exactly? Like, give me some more. What you mean by that?
So today I seen that you posted something that triggered. I'm always triggered, but today I'm always triggered. Today I seen what you posted on Instagram, and it was about going Dutch on a date. And you said like, let's men, we got to do better.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, wow, there was a time where going Dutch really was not a thing unless you was like in an established relationship. And I have no problem with playing for dates or anything like that.
Whoa. Top out. So you said going Dutch, but it was only a thing if you were in an established relationship, correct? That's what you said?
Correct. That's what I said.
So wait a minute. So y'all was paying for each other while y'all were in a relationship?
No, what I mean is, like, if I'm in a relationship with you, you're already past certain like elements and certain points and certain stages and certain levels in our relationship that we could take turns paying for dates. Like, okay, this month is you, this month is me. Like, that's what I mean.
I think what this guy was basically talking about in the post was he paid for himself and you pay for you.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's going Dutch. You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah. See, yeah. Here's my thing of going Dutch, right? During our first season of For the Lovers Podcast, we, the first episode, we actually broke down like about this whole topic about going Dutch, paying for dates. Men don't want to pay for dates, and women, show up, and it's this whole like big tug of war still. And now we're fast forward with 2021. The first episode dropped in 2019, and I'm like, Are we still talking about this? But yes, we are, because my thing is, like, if I'm gonna go Dutch with you, it means I definitely do not like you. Like, meaning, like, if at any moment I feel like I want to pay for my own meal so that there's no type of accountability, some responsibility, and I'm never seeing this person again, cool. And I've never seen you again. But the thing is, why I don't like that as well is just because it's tacky in a sense. Because unless it's like we have to be strictly friends. And even when we're strictly friends, men usually pay. Like, it's just a manly thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think we definitely take pride in actually paying for women when we go out. Now, I know a lot of women, they seem to like side-eye that a lot because, normally when guys pay for women, they're paying for women because there's a romantic interest. Like, most dudes, they're very much on the fence about paying for women if they think that there's no romantic interest. In other words, I won't pay for you if I don't think I'll be able to get somewhere with you. Does that make sense to you?
It makes sense, but I just feel like it's one of those things that men have to eat. Like, it's like one of those things that comes with being a man. Like, as a woman, what we have to do, we have to get dressed, we have to put the makeup on, get the smell good, get the hair done. There's already like $300 right there just in ourselves. So now we show up to this date, maybe pay for our own Uber, we took public transportation, another more money spent. And now we're sitting here at the table with this guy, and we know this guy wants to get in between our legs. Like, we know that's the end result here. Maybe not tonight, but eventually the purpose is this guy wants me. So it's like, what is he showing? What kind of investment is he securing here that I need to give it up? And I feel like once that whole notion of going Dutch and you like me, you don't like me. when we talk about going Dutch in New York City and in society, I'm still trying to understand why a guy would initiate that in general if there's a romance there. I can understand again, like you said, there's no romance there, but it's like, how do we even get to this point of no or a romance?
Well, I think the reason why a lot of guys are more willing to go Dutch now is because the way dating is now. So before, a guy would never even like utter those words out his mouth. Like he would never say, "Oh, you should pay for yourself, and I'm gonna pay for myself, and I'll eat a tip." Like before they would never even say something like that. But now they're gonna be able to say this now because they're looking at it like, "Yo, a lot of chicks are finessing dudes. A lot of chicks are just going out for dinner plates. They're not really trying to do nothing. They're not even trying to get into anything. I'm not about to spend $100, $200, $80, $90, 110, 120 on a girl, and I'm not even gonna get nowhere with her. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, I'm not gonna even like get in the sheets with her. So, what's the point of doing the dates? Because let's be honest, like nowadays, dates are not even what they used to be neither. Like the conversations are trash, and it's just not enough there to pretty much keep the date going. Like, okay, I may speak about a few things. It's more so feeling like an interview as opposed to like a cool, calm date. The girl is asking you how much money you make. The girl is
Oh
asking
my
you. The
gosh.
girl is asking you what kind of car you drive. The girl is asking you
Wow.
how many countries you've been to. The girl is asking you, you have your passport. The girl is asking you,
Whoa.
where did you go to school? Like these kind of questions on a date. Like I understand, like you trying to like know what the guy's about, but those kind of questions, a lot of guys are very much uncomfortable with those questions because it's almost like the girl is trying to gauge like where the guy is at, so she can pretty much like mark the spot on that particular territory. And a lot of dudes just don't like that. That's why like a lot of dudes now they don't really want to date because dating it doesn't really solidify anything, nor does it establish anything. Like I could go out on a date with a girl or whatever, and it's just not gonna get anywhere. Like so, what's the point in doing the dating? I don't really see the point in it at this point. Like no.
There's a lot to dissect here. You said a lot, honestly, and as I'm sitting here listening, I'm thinking about that the last phrase you said. What's the point to date? So if you're not dating though, and you are single, how are you going to determine that you're going to be in a relationship?
Well, one for me, I'm actually not single, so the dating situation for me, there's really no dating situation if that makes any sense. Like, I pretty much established what I needed to establish like a while back. So, dating for like, but when I was dating, actually, like, it wasn't really like dating. Like, I would go out like here and there, and the conversations, it wouldn't really be conversations about, what do you do? It would just be like a cool moment, a cool vibe. Like everything was like real chill. Like most of the dates I've been on, like was always cool. I was never doing goofy stuff like what that guy did. Like no, like I was never saying stuff like, "Oh, you should just pay for yourself," and I pay for myself. And no, like most of the dates that I went on, I wouldn't even consider them dates. They were more so like outings, if that make any sense. So when we go out, we're just chilling, we're just drinking, eating. And I never put like dating budgets. I know some dudes be like, "Oh, I can't spend over $100. Oh, I can't spend over $60." Like I never really did any of that. Like so, dating for me was like pretty much. It was very cool, but for other guys, it's like it's gonna be a very different thing because a lot of guys they're under this impression that you have to take girls out on dinner dates, lunch dates, to really get somewhere with them, and that's really not the case. So like dating in New York nowadays, it's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse from this point moving forward. So I hope you're ready for that. Hope you're really ready for that.
Okay, again, there's a lot to dissect here. The lot to dissect here because number one, why do I need to be ready for? Because I am not married or engaged. I'm not even dating like multiple people at this time because I'm too busy. dating in New York City is weird. I will agree, it is weird. Luckily, I've never really ran into like weird things like that. I'm never like going out for a meal. I'm not even. I'm not into that. I've dated all my 20s. You know, I'm now 30, so it's like very different what I'm gauging for as in relationships and for as what I want in a partner. And that's what I want, a partner. So for me personally, I think that people waste a lot of time. I don't want to say a lot of time dating, but like, if you want it, like you know if you're going to move forward with this person or not. Sometimes I think what people do, which is my motto, is that they do not become friends first or have like a basic foundation before they jump into dating. For me, I've never been able to have like a successful relationship with anyone I just started dating. Like if I just started dating you, like, you know, I met you last week and then like, you're like, let's go out. I'm like, I genuinely like to be your friend. Let's just, let's go into an event together. Let's on some friendship shit. Because for me, I can really see who you are that way before we start to date, before there's a romance. Even if, you know, we're attracted to each other. Attraction is attraction. That's going to exist regardless. Mm-hmm. But to spend energy on a date, it takes two. I don't want this guy spending money on me if I don't like him. Why? Why would I want that? That doesn't make any sense. I know deep down in my heart that there's no future with this guy. Why am I continuing to date him? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, the question is, like, I think the main question I have to ask you is like, what guys do you normally like? Because with me, I always tried when I was dating. I used to always try to go on dates with girls that I was like very like physically and sexually attracted to. And I would try to like build off of that or whatever the case is. Like some people, they try to like separate a lot of things. So they try to compartmentalize a lot of things. So they look at it like, okay, if I'm physically attracted to the, you know, person, or if I'm sexually attracted to the person, I don't want to have that as the reason why I want to date them. I want to find something else. But what they fail to realize is once you're physically and sexually attracted to the person, all you have to really do is find out the other things in order to just bring it together, because you have to bring everything together. And if you're just trying to separate certain things, some people don't even want to date people that they're physically and sexually attracted to. They want to date people that they're not. It's just a whole bunch of crazy things. That's why I had to ask you, like, what kind of guys do you like and what kind of dudes do you normally go out on dates with?
Well, in my most recent experience with the dating and relationships, I've been seeing someone for 2 years. Okay. And on and off. And whenever we're off, I do take the opportunity to date other people. And when that happens, I personally always end up going back to my same one, because I'm just like, like, why you would want your girl to date other men? I was about to definitely like ask you that, because with me it's like, I'm not like a very territorial person, but I look at it like, yo, if this is what we are doing, like, I'm not really trying to do the breaks. I'm not really trying to be off and on. Like, I think all of that is like wasting time. Like, you know, it actually is a waste of time. And that's one of the things I realized with that when I analyzed my last relationship. Why I continue to date, because it's two sides, right? It's like, yeah, I always want to make things work out with the person that I want to spend my rest of my life with, right? But at the same time, if this person is not stepping up to the plate, I have to move forward. I can't be the girl that's like hope, and then what happens? Now I gotta start all over with someone else, and that's just how life goes. Married couples, it's literally how life goes, you know. To his defense, he said, you're hot, you know. Men want to date you, go, you know, date them. And I think it's like a mental thing and a manipulation thing there as well, because he knows I'm not intimate with these men, right? It's just, this guy wants to date me. The governor's son wants to date me. Oh, sure, let's go out, let's kick it, let's have fun. You never know what could happen. And what I as I continue to date other men and like, I'm seeing what's out there, I'm seeing what's going on, casually, of course, not intentionally, it becomes interesting in dating in New York City because everybody's like saying the same story that we're saying right now. And I'm just like, well, what is the problem? Is it really social media that people aren't able to find genuine love and like just be able to just be content with what they have?
It's definitely that. I think that is definitely at the forefront. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of expectations. Understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people want to be able to be with someone that they can be social media official with.
Oh, that's so weird. But I get what you're saying. Wow, that terminology. So people want to be with someone that is social media official. That is insane.
Yeah, that's how they're doing it now. So 9 times out of 10, if you're like, even with guys, not so much. Like, I see this more with like girls. Like, they're very like picky on who they're dating because they want to be able to, I guess, take popping pictures with you, take popping videos, and get a whole lot of likes and comments. They want you to pretty much like be able to get validated if the time was to present itself. Guys, not so much. As long as the girl, got a nice body, she got a cute face, or whatever the case may be, like, we're good. But with women, it's a little bit more different because they got to make sure that their friends, it's a lot of nonsense with that. There's definitely a lot of nonsense with that, but it's definitely social media at the forefront for sure when it comes to like dating today. That's what I feel it is.
I'm very transparent in the sense, but I don't want to waste people's time. Because at the end of the day, I know it's a terrible thing what I'm going to say, but at the end of the day, I know when I'm sitting here across this table, I'm still thinking about my lover. Like, that's just the truth. So I like to be transparent to people that I go out with that are thinking that they have a future with me. I'm not saying that they don't or they can't, but I'm mostly saying, like, listen, I do have a relationship podcast. This is what I study. This is what I do. So a lot of the times it is content. I don't, I'm just being transparent with you. So when I actually went on a lunch date today, and the person was telling me all these things about pretty privilege while dating, which is something new, a new term to me. I understand the breakdown, but I'm realizing that this is what you were saying earlier, that women are wanting to go out for this free meal, and I'm like, well, when does it stop? When does it end? Like, does it end or stop when you actually finally meet that person that you could be social media official with? What is that? Like, what kind of honesty and true longevity is being created there? Because I don't see it.
Well, see, here's the thing. Pretty privilege. I think that's something that came out like a few years back. It came out with the whole Generation Z thing. They came out with their own terms and concepts and shit like that. I heard about it a few times, but I don't really buy into these things because everybody has some sort of privilege somehow. Whether you're pretty, whether you have status, whether you have money, like, privilege is always going to be there. I don't really think it's always about being pretty. I guess with men and women, it's more than just being pretty at this point. 'Cause anybody could be pretty. It's also if you have like notoriety, because a lot of guys do that too. A lot of guys, they want to be with the it girl, but it's not very much talked about because that's like a feminine thing. Like, a lot of women want to be with the it guy. They want to be with the popping dude. They want to be with the dude with the status, the fame, whatever you want to call it. So when you hear dudes saying certain things about women, and they might not really say it, but it's pretty much the same thing. They want to be with the it girl. Like, if a dude feel like you're it right now, he's gonna drop every other chick he's talking to and probably focus only on you 9 times out of 10.
I mean, I hear that, and I definitely agree that everybody does have a privilege in life in general, and you should use it to, not just necessarily to your advantage. Use it so that you're never inconveniencing anyone else, is what I always say. But I don't know, like, it makes me a little bit sad as a real life lover. I'm a real life lover. It goes back to even what you were saying. If I'm dating you, and that's it. I shouldn't have to go outside with these other people and give them hope, because it's not fair to nobody in this game. Love is real. Um, and people's feelings do get hurt in the process. And I don't like to hurt people's feelings. I really don't. Um, Even if you're being transparent, I don't think it's fair to waste anyone's time. However, what I realized on my studies on going out on these dates is that, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the foundation and being friends and having a service level, is that you can't necessarily date someone because they're the it person or the thing. If they don't have the personality to match, it's not going to go anywhere. I see good looking couples all the time that actually look good, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Two people that look great together. But what's going on behind closed doors? Recently we've seen so many things in like the celebrity gossip world where, like, just now Miguel and his wife broke up, Nandy, and everyone's like, wow, they were together for 17 years. But with nobody, what is on the social media is not what's going on in behind closed doors. It's just not that. And then also you got Will Smith coming out with Jada Pinkett recently. We've been following him for maybe like 2 years, a year now, with their whole non-monogamous relationship. And
yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, and my thing to that is that, like, I because I'm so real, and like I understand how everything is no blueprint to dating. There's no blueprint to love and being in a relationship with someone. The whole purpose for me is like find someone that understands you, that really, really understands you.
Well,
that
let me say this, and sorry to cut you off, but I feel like I got to get this out. Like, let me say this. I really don't think it's about the lack of understanding. What I'm starting to really believe, and I know this may sound kind of crazy, but I'm gonna just say it anyway. I think it's all because of the whole women empowerment movement. Like, women are really looking at it like, yo, we got things popping now. We really don't have to be with these guys anymore. Like, we could pretty much get up and get out and do our own thing and create our own brands and start our own movements and things like that, create our own companies and, just pretty much be their own now. Like, a lot of women, they was only dealing with guys because they had to pretty much do it. But now it's not the same anymore. Like, why you think Jada's coming out after all these years talking about Will Smith in such a way she's talking about Will Smith? Even though she's not saying anything crazy, but just by her being able to like say stuff like she don't know what love is and she don't know how to love and all this nonsense, like it's just crazy to me. And then she popped out with August Alsina and the whole entanglement stuff last year. And
well, that's my thing. So this, again, there's many layers and many dissections, because I'm a person sometimes that doesn't believe in black or white, right? And what happens within marriages, especially, again, it goes back to finding someone that understands you. I just don't think she should have publicized it. Meaning, like, if you're not in a monogamous relationship, I don't see why the world needs to be in your business. I understand that you're, celebrities, you're public figures, but we never hear nothing about Denzel Washington. We never hear nothing about Beyonce and Jay-Z. Even though we heard that one incident with Jay-Z in the elevator and the stuff, we never hear nothing. We don't really know what's going on in the relationships. And so I'm starting to feel like everything is not to believe, in a sense, because I'm just like, why is it so easily out there like that? What kind of privacy, what you do behind closed doors is you and your man's business, period. However, I do believe that within relationships, there are moments that, like, we're animals. So there's moments that you're going to really, like, how do I say this? There's moments where you're going to want someone else. There's moments where you're going to have your main person and still have feelings for someone else. Now, where it comes to be the black and white for me is that you acting on those feelings. That's when it comes in for me. And based on different cultures of the world, especially, and I know this because I've dated men who come from cultures that this is allowed. So it actually makes me feel like, well, I'm allowed to do it too. I'm all here for women's rights and everything like that, but I also believe in gender roles. I also believe that you're saying one thing. You're saying you want to be an independent woman, but then you're mad when your man is not taking out the garbage. So I'm kind of confused on exactly what you want and what you're saying. So it's a lot of turmoil with that topic because, again, like in 2021, those things have got very misconstrued. Yes, you should, as a woman, you should be able to vote. You should be able to get the same wages as the man. However, when it comes down to the household and relationships, why you want to be a man? I don't get it. Why you want to wear the pants in a relationship?
Here's the thing with that. I don't know about equal wages because the man is supposed to make more money because he's definitely dealing with a bigger plate. So he has more to pretty much do. He has more to pretty much fend for. He has more to take care of and things of that nature. So to say that men and women are equal on that, it's kind of crazy because then if that's the case, what's the point of the woman needing the man if she's getting paid the same amount as the man?
In general, men and women need each other. Like that's what I'm getting at. In general, if I make more money than you, you make more money, we make the same money, I still need you. You still need me. I cannot have a family and have children by myself. Same thing with, like, just because I'm a woman and I'm independent and I have my own company, my own business, doesn't mean that I don't need a man at night, in the morning, in the daytime, anytime in the world. Like, I still need a man. We need each other. We need companionship. We need to grow old with each other. You know? What happens though, again, is why women fought to have equal rights is because the man started stepping out and not taking care of the household. So now it's like, well, shit, all the time I was relying on you to take care of me and Bobby Joe and his kids. And now, you know, our technology developed over the years, starting from the 50s going to the present time, 2021. And now men are on a different race, but they don't want to bring the check home to the wife. And so she's paying the bills and doing anything. No, they're keeping the money from her. So this is why these things became into place. Everything started changing. It all plays a role into dating. Money, finances, stability, security are main things when it comes to having a relationship. I realized having money is actually, I used to think that having money in a relationship was so important. Like, yeah. I used to always say all the time, like, nah, my man gotta have money. I mean, he gotta have money. He gotta have money. And then one day I was at the bar talking to a girl, and she was like, I don't care if he has money. I just want him to feed off me. And I was like, but then you care if he has money? He was like, nah, like, she was like, I gotta have my own money. You feel me? I just don't want to leech. And so I was kind of confused at what she was saying until today, when I was out on my lunch date. This guy was explaining to me, like, this the woman that he dated and such and such forth. And basically, let's say, you know, you're dating someone, y'all not on the same level financially. It's very, in 2021, you could get on my level. Like, you can get on my level. If we're dating and you know I like Gucci, Prada, Louis, all that kind of stuff, or whatever, I like to be spoiled, and maybe when we first met, you wasn't there financially. If you have the wits and you have a laptop or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could get there. And that's the thing that I realized. I'm like, oh, that's kind of true. Because I've dated guys with money as well, and they're assholes. Doesn't mean nothing. They can have money. They're not giving you none of their money.
I mean, it definitely depends on, you know, the level of money that you're, you know, speaking about. Because I think one of the reasons why a lot of dudes with money, they're like assholes, because 9 times out of 10, they already know that if they're going to deal with the chick, it's only going to be because of what he has. Like, most women, they want guys with money, but they want a dude that's more financially stable as opposed to a rich or wealthy dude. And the reason why I say that is because rich and wealthy people, they play by a different set of rules. So once you're rich and once you're wealthy, you pretty much have everything at the palm of your hand. So you're not really going to, I don't want to say like cherish and appreciate anything, but you're not going to value things as much. Like, you'll get something today and you'll wreck it by like tomorrow because you have the means to go out and get it again. So that's why a lot of dudes that have money, they look at it like, yo, you know what? Yeah, I could be dealing with you today, but I don't got to be dealing with you tomorrow. Right. So, you know, that's the kind of mindset that, you know, a lot of guys with money have. And the reason why a lot of women want guys with money on that level is because it's only because of the lifestyle. you're able to, provide them with a certain lifestyle. You're able to get them certain things when they want it. That's the only reason why. But to say like they really want to deal with somebody that got money on that level, no. They just want you to be able to have what they call funds available. So you have to have this money available when I need it. That's the only reason why they would rather deal with a rich and wealthy dude as opposed to a dude that's just financially stable. Because financially stable dude, yeah, he's stable financially, but he might not have funds available. So it's definitely real tricky when it comes to like rich and wealthy dudes as opposed to like financially stable dudes. But I kind of understand where the girl was coming from the bar. She'd rather just deal with a dude that, okay, you don't have money, but you're not a leech. Like, you're not leeching off of me, but at the same time, you're not in a position to say that you can actually move freely on your own financially. So it's a little bit tricky with what a lot of women want out here. That's why I think dating in New York is weird now, because it's just a lot of things to like you got to factor in now. You have to factor in a lot, and you have to factor in, as crazy as it sounds, you have to really factor in social media, because social media is a part of life now. Unfortunately, you have to really factor social media in now. It's not about you and the other person anymore. It's about you, the other person, and social media, because social
I'm
media is the image, it's the personality, it's everything in one.
I actually had to agree, and it actually frustrates me that I have to agree because I realized, like, also within my last relationship, that social media played a huge role, like a huge, huge, huge role in our relationship. And I didn't like that. Like, I actually really hate that social media was brought into our relationship. But then it was weird that it's like an oxymoron because me and the person met off social media. So I guess social media was always going to be a major factor in our relationship because that's the means of how we met. You feel me? But going back to what my bartender said about dating someone that is financially stable, I 100% agree. The wealthies, the rich, unless you're literally on their level as well, and you're able to really accept the lifestyle that will come with that, because it comes with a lot. Um, Financially stable is fine with me. Building together. I don't want us to both be struggling. Like, nah, like, you feel me? But at the same time, like, I'm happy to date someone that's on my level as well. I'm not on a level. It's about like I'm not so superior that I can't date someone like on a lower level than me. But I do have my requirements. Do you have your own place? Do you have a car? Maybe you don't have to have a car because we live in New York City, but there's certain things that I think are required, and I think that when I speak to my male friends, women require it, but they don't have it. So that is a problem for me too. Meaning, there are women that say, "Oh, I want my guy to have his own place, his own car," but then they still live at home. And then it's like, well, you don't even have your own place. But then it's like, yeah, but see, that's when gender roles and things become weird and different in 2021, because that's how it used to be. Everybody used to live at home until they moved in, until they got with their spouse. So I don't know. Today is very different things when it comes to dating in New York City, when it comes to dating as well. We're talking about going Dutch, we're talking about being monogamous, being financially stable, women's rights, how that played a role, and of course, social media. Social media actually is a very, very high influence in relationships today. And I wish that, I can't say I wish things would be different because it's only going to progress as we continue to go on with technology and be innovative as human beings. But moving forward, I mean, I really pray, because I really pray that we all can find like that lover that is ours, that accepts all our bullshit, wants to move forward, and wants to actually make you a better person, can see the potential in you. I think that's something that we don't ever talk about either. But before we wrap up, we had a great topic. We have more to come, lovers. Ty, this is his first guest hosting on For the Lovers podcast. We had a little bit of
Definitely.
Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning, but we just went forward as two crazy Sagittarius would. We don't ever give up in life. That's the fire in us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to rock out. I'm definitely happy that you were able to be a guest on this season. So before we wrap up, tell the lovers where they can find you on social media.
All right, so on social media, you can find me at instagram.com/TheTalkPod. And I do have a podcast on here as well. It's called The Talks. And, there's definitely more to come. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for right now.
All right, lovers. So make sure you follow the Talks podcast on Instagram. Of course, all the ads or the links will be posted when this episode goes out. Always follow your lover at Ty Hampton. Unfortunately, my page is private now. So you have to request me. But to go on For the Lovers podcast and go on Ty the Bartender, see me making these cocktails in Midtown, New York. And until next time, lovers, continue to wear your mask, sanitize, and mind